100 back in time. 474.
In time.
474 of the Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. I'm Sean.
I'm Ian, and this is the only podcast that says.
We're reporting to you today from Dante's Inferno.
Nice.
Welcome to the Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast.
Nice.
It is hotter than balls.
Yes, it is.
And my dumbass, I should have invited you over to my house.
Yeah, air conditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that till I was pulling on. I'm like, fuck, that house is going to be a sweat box.
Yeah.
You know. So next week, of course, I'm thanking myself for having the foresight of saying fuck it and mowing my lawn last weekend instead of this weekend.
That's why I mowed my mom's lawn last week.
Yeah. I was like, ugh.
I looked at them temps and I'm like,
Yeah, me too. That was part of like I was having an argument with myself, like, man, I don't want to do it. It's not that bad. And then I'm like, look at those temps for this weekend, and I was like, yeah, let's just do it now when it's 73 degrees and
yeah,
you know,
crazy.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
So how are you, sir?
Good. We had sort of a busy day.
Yeah,
Well, not really. I mean, for the morning was afternoon.
yeah,
Had to go get tires. A couple tires for Lisa's car. One of her tires was bubbled. One was bald.
Oh,
Weird.
wow.
It was just
Yeah.
riding weird. So I went to Sam's Club because usually they have a pretty good deal on tires. Walmart has. They're about $100 cheaper at Walmart, but I didn't think I'd ever even get into Walmart. Their
right.
tire center is just outrageous.
It is. It's very.
And I drove by it and it was outrageous. And I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah, you go there to get an oil change. And they're like, yeah, we'll see you in 4 hours.
But I got two tires. I don't understand why tires are so expensive, but I went down there for tires, and I thought I needed tires too,
Yeah.
but I didn't. I was okay, but they wanted like $600 for fucking 4 tires for that car,
Damn.
and that was all of them.
Yeah.
I ended up paying like $340 for 2 tires.
Yeah.
17-inch rims. I mean,
Yeah.
Tires. So we got the 2 tires, and I feel good about that because she drives everywhere.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we did that, and then while you're waiting for tires.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you drop another $200 at Sam's Club.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's stuff we needed and stuff. But same point,
Right.
So yeah, did that.
And that's the thing, like, I don't understand, like, unless you're buying, like, Michelin, like, why is it that tires are expensive at Walmart? Because Walmart does something very interesting. This is a little insight to what I do for a living.
Yeah.
Like, they have a $5 drug program.
Mm-hmm.
They have certain generic drugs that you can get for $5 without insurance.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like I think a Torvastatin.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they're low cost drugs. Don't get me wrong, but I mean they're still
$5.
$5. But they're taking a loss on it.
Okay.
It's called a loss leader
Uh-huh.
because while you're waiting for that to get filled, which takes about a half hour,
Yeah.
you're gonna walk around Walmart.
Right.
Now you got a bag of socks. You've got
$10 package of underwear.
Yeah, you've spent money elsewhere. You probably picked up. Hey, while I'm here, I'm gonna pick up something for dinner.
Couple bananas.
Yeah, exactly. And then the next thing you know, you spend another $30, $50.
And they just made it back.
Yeah, right, exactly. They're willing to take the loss on the Torvastatin, so you can spend $50 elsewhere in the store.
Right.
They did the same thing with CDs, but that's why the electronics is in the back.
Yeah.
Because they would draw you back as you go to buy a CD and you're walking past everything.
Yeah.
So they would sell CDs at a lower cost than you could get anywhere else.
Yeah.
So they're undercutting their competition for that. But meanwhile, you had to walk all the way to the back of the store, and all the way to the front of the store.
Yeah.
To get out. Excuse me. You're bound to find something else you're going to buy.
Yeah. Well, it's that impulse buy, right? So
Yeah.
And the most famous store for doing that is fucking Gabriel's.
Yeah.
Gabriel's, you have to walk through a labyrinth.
Yeah.
In order to check out. And that entire labyrinth.
Oh, yeah, it's just stocked with
impulse buys.
Yeah. Hey, well, I'm here. I might as well grab some gum.
Yeah. A charger.
Yeah.
I need an 8-foot charger cord.
Yeah.
I mean, shit like that.
And it's cheap, and, yeah, that's exactly what they do. There's a psychology to that.
Oh, and that's why in supermarkets, the gum and the candy and everything like that, and the drinks are right there.
Yeah.
Because for that soda's outrageous now, but it's like $2 for a soda.
Right.
If you just walk back to the store.
Yeah, you can get a 2-liter for the same price.
Or a 6-pack for $3.
But you're so thirsty.
Correct.
Because they keep the temperature higher.
Right, exactly.
But by the time you get, you're like, I need a bottle of water.
That's a fucking game.
It is.
It's like Sam's Club doing their little salty treats all around the store.
Yeah.
And then it makes you hungry.
Right.
Because they're only little nabs. They're only little nibs. But you get a couple of nibs, like, boy, I'm hungry.
Oh, yeah.
And then, you spend more when you're hungry.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
the science of
of
like store design, and like I've watched a documentary and they were talking about like one company did it so you had to actually walk past everything.
Yeah.
Like they created like a labyrinth.
Yeah.
You had to follow to get out.
Yeah.
Before you can get there, so you had to walk past every single item in the store.
Yeah.
And what that created for them was opportunities where you would walk past them and say, hey, I could use that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
that's why Sam's Club used to be before COVID.
Right.
Because you used to go into Sam's and there'd be like 25 of these guys. I felt like it was the beginning of Airplane.
Yeah.
When I'm trying to get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because that'd be like the guy.
Here's some fresh peaches. Here's some fucking nut butter. Put this in your mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and they're just like.
But they would also have like the guy selling aluminum siding. You'd have like a little hut there.
Yeah.
And somebody else who like the Verizon people,
the cable guys.
Yeah.
They tried to get me today.
Yeah. They're like all over the place.
He was like, "Hey, da 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 da." I was like, "I'm trying to buy tires." I did. I put my hand up. I was like, "Just stop your pitch.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear your pitch. I'm good. I'm T-Mobile.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Just want tires.
Yeah.
Just here for tires.
I'm T-Mobile. I don't want your crap.
I don't want what you're selling.
I don't care." I get it. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to. It's hard to do that. It's cold calling, and that's why a lot of people. That's why you always see different people because they just fucking quit. It's the worst.
Oh, it is. It's the absolute worst. I could never do that.
But
I work at a call center. Like both those call centers, I was like, I am not cold calling people, right? Like, no, it's inbound. I'm like, okay, I can deal with inbound.
Yeah.
I am not doing outbound.
Yeah. That's the worst.
Yeah. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Like just sales in particular, like
the mental anguish.
Yeah.
Of just getting hung up on all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the other thing, I can't imagine, like being a used car salesman or a car salesman in general, not just used cars, just any car. Like I can't imagine the stress that comes with like, man, I need to sell 3 cars today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Thad did this. Our good friend, Superfan Thad, like he was in real estate.
Yeah.
Like he worked for a real estate company selling houses.
Yeah.
And like, he never talked about the stress, but I'm sure it was there. You want to. I mean, granted, once you sell a house, you get a big paycheck because of the commission, but still, like,
yeah, but you gotta sell. You gotta be able to support yourself.
Exactly. So if you're only selling 1 house a month,
yeah,
you might be struggling.
Yeah.
So it's like that. I'm talking on my ass. Maybe I'm wrong. If you said 1 house a month, maybe you're like a superstar. It's just that thing of like.
Yeah, but if you're selling a $50,000 house,
right,
you're not making much money.
Right, but it's just that interesting thing of like I could not imagine trying to support myself based upon my personality of trying to sell you something.
Yeah.
Like I even hated like when I worked at Dish Network and I'd be like, well, you have to upsell, stars. Like not every call you can do an upsell on.
Yeah.
Like if you call me and you're something's not working or you have a billing issue, and I say, hey, by the way, how would you like 3 months of stars? Like, you're gonna tell me to go fuck myself. You got to pick and choose who you're doing this with.
Yeah.
This isn't But I would get like they would do quality assurance on us, and like somebody would be like, "Well, you had an opportunity to upsell, you know, and you didn't." I'm like, "Did you listen to the fucking call?
Yeah, yeah.
There was no opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, go fuck yourself."
Yeah.
So,
Anyway.
yeah. So before we get into Kenobi,
Yeah.
'cause I know we're going to talk about it at nauseum.
Nauseam.
I regret this now because I forgot Umbrella Academy started this week. But I started watching a show called For All Mankind.
Okay.
It's on Apple Plus. I know. I should give you my username and password.
Does that work?
Yeah, it should.
Okay.
I only said it because it's like one of those deals where this show is really fucking good.
Really?
Yeah.
Science fiction?
Science faction.
Okay.
It's a what if show.
Okay.
And the what if is, what if the Russians beat us to the moon and the space race continued?
Okay.
Like, we didn't stop.
Okay.
Like, it was the space race kept going. Like, and now we're trying to reach for Mars. Who's going to be the first to Mars?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's a very interesting show. And the first season takes place between 1969 and 1973. The second season jumps forward 10 years to 1983.
Okay.
And the third season that I'm currently watching, and the last season available, starts in 1993.
Okay.
And like there's interesting little tidbits. Okay, like so, like 69, Nixon was president. Well, losing the moon, which was still like in this world, like that was Kennedy's, you know, proclamation that by the end of this decade we're going to put a man on the moon.
Yeah.
To have the Russians beat us there was a noose around Nixon's neck.
Yeah.
And he loses the 72 election.
Okay.
To Ted Kennedy.
Okay.
Because of the Russians landing on the moon, he never goes to Chappaquiddick, and he never goes off that bridge with that girl in the car and leaves her to drown.
Oh, I see.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like so these events don't unfold. So that's weird. So it's like one of these interesting things of like, well, wow, that's crazy. But then in 74, because of a sex scandal, Teddy loses the election to Ronald Reagan.
Okay.
So Ronald Reagan takes office. No, in 76.
Uh-huh.
Reagan takes office in 76, holds it for 8 years, and then in 84, Gary Hart becomes president.
Okay.
So Gary Hart never had the incident on the monkey business with the girl and everything. Like watching like the alternate hit, like other things are still like in place, but some things change. Like John Lennon wasn't assassinated.
That's cool.
So Lennon's still alive, and like in 88, the Beatles reunite or something.
Hey, shit.
Yeah. So like there's all sorts of like odd things like in the background that you're like from like a pop culture standpoint that are taking place. Like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting that still happened, or this got changed because of this. So it's like that part's interesting, but what's really interesting is the show itself and what it's about. Of like, you know, the first season becomes about not only getting to the moon after being beat by the Russians, but now the mandate is we have to put a base on the moon ASAP.
Yeah.
You know, and the Russians are trying to put a base on the moon. And so this space race has started, and it continues on and on and on. It never stops. So our NASA never becomes stagnant.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
It just keeps going and innovating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's really fascinating.
Yeah.
So it's a fantastic show because of that. And I mean, there's a lot of human element to it too. The characters are. It stars Joel Kinnaman, who nerds will remember as like Rick Flag from the Suicide Squad movies.
Yeah.
But it's a really, 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 really good show. Like, I've been very impressed with this and how well it's done. And, like, the special effects are fantastic. Like, everything's just... It's a top-notch show.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed with how well it is. How good it is.
That's cool.
Yeah. So if you have Apple TV Plus or Apple Plus, whatever it is, I highly recommend checking out For All Mankind.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Like, I'm bummed out because, like, I wanted to watch. Like, once I found out, like, I figured out, like, oh, that's this week. I thought it was next week. Like, I want to watch Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
But, like, I can't pull myself away from this show right now.
Right.
You know, so.
I watched the first episode.
Yeah.
It's good. I like it.
I have no doubt it's going to be good. I'm very intrigued to see how the season plays out.
And they did what? I guess his name.
Elliot Page.
Yeah. Very well done.
I heard that, yeah.
Very
I did hear that. I heard it was done tastefully.
Very tasteful.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah.
So, we'll wait on that.
Yeah.
And, yeah. We're going to watch anything else. I watched Strange New Worlds, which, it was alright. I get it.
Yeah, I haven't even watched that.
And,
It's like the only thing outside of Brave For All Mankind I watched was Kenobi.
and I started watching the new Iron Chef series,
Yeah.
which I like a lot. And it was pretty good.
Yeah.
This season they had all these chefs on, new,
Right.
new,
Right, because they've left Food Network and they're on Netflix now.
yeah,
So they had to, like,
new Iron Chefs.
new Iron Chefs.
And I like the chefs that are on,
Yeah.
but they changed it up a little bit, and now, so they go through a series of like 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Okay. And whatever challenger chef has the most points, number one, and beats the Iron Chef.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
So there might
wins
be
count.
There might be 2 or there might be 5.
Right.
They have a chance to become, I don't know what they call it, like the ultimate Iron Chef.
Yeah.
Iron Chef Ultimate, which they have to face off against 5 Iron Chefs,
Right. Yeah.
like all at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's tough.
Yeah.
So, but so far I liked it. I only had a problem with one episode, and the guy was a Hmong, like from, I guess, what is that, Minnesota area? The Hmongs.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so I had a little bit of a problem with that episode because, they cook. He's an excellent cook.
Right.
I'm not saying that he's not. But they put him up against the Mexican Iron Chef. Like, she's Mexican,
Yeah.
Iron Chef. She's phenomenal. And the secret ingredient was fucking peppers. Like chili peppers and
Yeah.
poblanos. And like,
Yeah. So it's
that's
out,
like right in her fucking
it's
wheelhouse.
right in her wheelhouse and well out of his.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
it was just so weird. I mean, he had chef knowledge and stuff like that, but she has fucking 3 restaurants in Mexico City.
Yeah. It's clearly a home field advantage for her.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
So, I wasn't too into that episode, but it was cool because on the last episode, Morimoto came on.
Okay, yeah.
And he's from the original Iron Chef.
Right, yeah.
And then the American Iron Chef.
Right.
Like, he's a god.
Yeah.
He was a new guy on the original Iron Chef.
like
What was in that? Japan.
Yeah, like in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And then he was on the new Iron Chef when they had it on the Food Network.
Yeah.
And he was like one of the head Iron Chefs there.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
And then he came on as a guest.
Yeah.
As a
I
guest
think it was
judge.
like Morimoto, Bobby Flay.
I don't think Anne was an Iron Chef back then. I thought she was
No.
a sous chef to somebody.
She was a sous chef to somebody. But it was like,
What's her name? Amanda Freitag was an Iron Chef.
yeah, I think so, yeah. I can't remember. But I remember Bobby Flay was, and I thought that was like a big deal. I'm like, Fucking Bobby Flay.
Yeah, the Iron Chefs they have now are pretty cool.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Marcus Samuelson's one of them.
Yeah.
Which I like his cooking.
Yeah.
And he's just neat to watch. But anyway, it's pretty good. I
Yeah.
recommend it. If you like cooking shows. I love fucking Iron Chef. So, I do. I always have. And, so yeah. So that's pretty much it. And then Kenobi. Oh, my God.
Oh. What a fucking episode.
I was like screaming at my TV.
Yeah.
I mean, I could say that. And there was one point I was crying.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like, I was like...
I definitely had, there was a couple of points where I had some mist in my eyes. For sure.
Yeah. And I had mist in my eyes the week before.
Yeah.
With the robot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That whole...
Yeah.
I was like, man, that's one of the fucking saddest things I've ever seen in my life. And then this episode happened. Anyway. Thoughts?
I'm going to go with the negative first.
Okay.
Okay. My understanding of hyperdrive is really fucking off.
Okay.
Like, I mean, like, I did not think hyperdrive was an instantaneous way of getting from point A to point B.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, the episode opens up and Rhea is already on Tatooine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how the fuck did she get there that fast?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Kenobi's still like...
Well, their hyperdrive's broken.
Right, but he's still being pursued. You know,
Oh, yeah,
it couldn't have been that long.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know, it's like, yeah, it's been about 3 hours.
Well, I mean, it was pretty quick. I mean, like, think about...
She was able to wrap herself up, find a workable ship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of, like, plot holes in the how she goes from laying on the ground dying to showing up on Tatooine looking for,
Yeah, yeah.
for you know, Owen.
Yeah.
So I was like, And then later on, when, you know, Obi feels Luke's in danger, like 5 minutes later, he's showing up at Tatooine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was like this thing of like, I thought hyperdrive still there was still like time between distances.
Yeah.
Like,
depending on how far or where you're going.
right. Like, but for the most part, it functioned as it was a different form of like, I understand warp drive is based upon factors of the speed of light. Mm-hmm. So if you're a warp 5, you are 5 times faster than the speed of light.
Right.
You know, and then the cells create a warp bubble around you to protect the ship. Like, I understand the science behind Star Trek. With Star Wars, like, to get from like Tatooine to Alderaan felt like a 3-hour drive.
Yeah.
You know, like Han and the gang were kind of in the back while, you know, the ship was just getting them there. It felt like there was time. Now, like, especially with like the sequel movies, and also like in the in the Rise of Skywalker, they were bouncing around places. Like, they had 8 hours to stop the Emperor.
Yeah.
And they were fucking in 6 different, you know, corners of the galaxy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like, just like getting there like that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and so like, to me, like hyperdrive doesn't make any sense to me, like how it functions.
Okay.
Because it just doesn't seem like that's right.
Yeah.
You know, and so like Kenobi showing up like almost instantaneously. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's my takeaway. Like, I need somebody to explain to me how hyperdrive actually functions.
Yeah.
Because my understanding is clearly not the movie and TV version.
Right.
Outside of that, that's my complaint. Outside of that, it was a fucking brilliant piece of filmmaking.
It was, right?
Especially like,
I was like, it ended. I was like, man, I can watch this all day long.
Yeah, and especially like as a fan of Clone Wars and Rebels, like watching when Ahsoka fights Vader and she cracks open his helmet, she cracks open the right side of the helmet. And when Obi-Wan fights Vader, he cracks open the left side of the helmet.
Yeah.
Only Luke can open the full helmet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was like very interesting to me. But like the conversation Obi-Wan and Vader have at the end of the duel, and you know Obi-Wan's kind of apologizing. He's like, you can go fuck yourself. I killed Anakin Skywalker, not you, me.
Yeah.
You know, and he does the same thing to Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Like in Rebels, he tells her, you know, Anakin Skywalker was weak and I destroyed him. And she said, well, I will avenge my master. Like, revenge is not the Jedi way. And she's like, I am no Jedi.
Yeah.
And lights up her lightsabers. You're like, oh shit!
Yeah,
You know, it's on!
Yeah.
You know, but it's also heartbreaking because she knows the truth, and she, like, this man that she worshipped like a older brother, now she has to destroy him.
Yeah.
You know, and it was the same thing with Obi-Wan. It's like, people were asking, well, why did Obi-Wan leave him? Like, why didn't he finish him? End of story.
Yeah.
Roll credits.
Yeah.
You know, and he's still, like, even, it's pity. It's like, fuck, I can't do it.
Right.
I can't destroy you. But I'm going to send your kid to do it.
Yeah.
know?
Right. How evil was that?
Yeah. That's kind of fucked up and twisted. But it makes... It also, though, makes what Obi-Wan says in the movie make sense now.
Yeah.
You know, when he says, Anakin was killed by Vader, he's telling the truth in a lot of ways.
Right.
It's no longer like, yeah, Obi-Wan was stretching the truth. Well, no. Anakin tells him this. Oh, Vader tells him it. I killed Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
This isn't your failure. It's Anakin's failure.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, oh, shit, okay. If you want to take that heat, you can have it. You can have all that smoke.
Right.
You know, so...
Oh, when he ignited.
Oh. When he brings that saber up, Obi-Wan, and he got the two fingers out, like, I was just like...
I know, dude.
I stood up from my chair.
I know.
I lit, like, Nancy, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm just standing up from my chair, hand in the air, like...
I know. You can ask them. I did the same thing.
It's fucking on.
Yeah. It was, dude, badass. And I have just absolutely loved Vader in this.
Yeah.
He's done so well in that suit. That's him in the suit.
Yeah, Hayden Christensen in the suit. Yeah.
Which I think is a good thing.
Like, I almost wish, and this is like a really bad thing to do, but like I almost wish they could go back and refilm the originals with whatever they're doing with the suit now.
Yeah.
Because, like, you forgave Vader for being stiff because you're like, well, fuck, that suit, he can hardly move in that shit.
Yeah.
Hayden Christensen can move in that fucking suit.
Yeah.
Like, even, like, walking and
The
striding.
brisk walk?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I was like, ooh, he's flying.
Yeah.
That's what I said when I first saw it. I was like, man, he's going off. He is flying. Look how fast he's walking.
Yeah.
Because we're not used to that Vader.
No.
We're used to the...
Plodding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not this Vader.
No. And I mean, like, his movements were just so much more crisp and natural looking as compared to what David Prowse was able to do in that suit.
Yeah.
And it just makes me wish, like, we could go back and, like, take that suit and have them film, because it's clearly been redesigned to look like that suit, but yet have much more maneuverability.
Yeah. It's like updating the Bat costume.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's
like,
what they did.
I mean, it's like, he needs to be able to move his head.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, what? Like, yeah, he can't just do this big superhero turn. He has to be able to move his head.
Yeah. But
okay.
I just love the force use that he's using.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible. Like, when you saw it in Empire Strikes Back, you're like, damn, that's badass shit. He just threw a box at him. Hold my beer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I'm throwing a mountain at you.
for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, there
Yeah.
were so many moments where I was like, oh shit. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, that's, I think that may be one of the best things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hands up in the air, like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm good right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was just so good. The saber battle alone was good.
Yeah.
Let alone the force use.
Yeah.
And then when he just buried him, he was in that fucking
Yeah.
vengeance coming down. Like,
Yeah. Like, you almost expect them to be like, all too easy.
almost.
Yeah.
But I didn't. But you can take away from that. He didn't kill him either. Do you know what I
Right,
mean?
right, yeah.
He knew he was still alive.
Yeah.
He had to have. He's
Yeah.
Vader.
Yeah.
He knows
he can
he's.
sense them down there.
He can sense him down there in his
Yeah.
fucking Jedi bubble. He
Yeah.
knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And he walked away.
Yeah.
He was he was saying to him, "I am now the master.
Yeah.
I have outwitted you. I have
Yeah.
outdueled you. I'm walking away now.
Yeah.
Confidence is built. I beat the old school.
Yeah.
I'm good to go." And then it was on like Donkey Kong.
Oh, yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Love how you hear the breath.
Oh, yeah.
That whole showdown there.
Yeah.
How they showed Vader getting hit,
Yeah.
which was I liked even better. Like he got one across the back, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see his cape was...
Yes. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like one of the first times you actually see him actually getting hit.
Yeah.
Like really getting hit.
Right.
Aside from Luke doing the whole fucking hacksaw his
Yeah.
arm off. You know what I mean? Like you
No,
actually
yeah. Yeah.
and like battle wounds, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
wow, they are battling, you know?
Yeah.
Obi-Wan was badass. And it just I love how Vader's doing this force push with the saber.
Yeah.
He's just like, nah, not this day.
Yeah.
Nah, try over here.
Yeah.
Nah, we're good. I'm gonna just parry this behind my back.
Yeah.
Block it over here. It just shows the true, like, I think they've captured like the true power of Vader.
Yeah.
You know, like true power. And I almost at one point, when he was down in the hole before he threw the rocks on,
Yeah.
I almost expected him to go, "I have the high ground."
Yeah.
I was waiting for it to come
Yeah.
out of his mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's going to say it. He has to say it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of known. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, so fucking good. That battle was so fucking good.
It was.
It was good to see. It was good to see Obi-Wan's redemption in a sense.
Yeah.
Like him coming back.
Yeah. I'm the guy now. I'm back to being me.
Yeah. It's just taken me a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But this is who I am.
Yeah.
General Kenobi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Even at the end, like, you know, the surprise visit from Qui-Gon. And even Qui-Gon's like, took you long enough to figure this shit out.
yeah. I was so glad to see him.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was like just the cherry on top for me.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that's badass right there.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm coming, master. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was so badass. It was good to see him. I'm glad we saw him. Like,
Yeah.
it was almost redemption for me.
Yeah.
Because when he died, it's just like, oh God, he hasn't studied the books, and we just didn't know how much he did study.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I'm glad he's there.
Yeah.
I am. I'm like,
Yeah.
because he was a good character, except for that midichlorian bullshit.
Right. Which, you know, but yeah, I mean, like.
He was a good Jedi. I thought. I liked his character.
Right. Well, I mean, and Dave Filoni like talks about he was ahead of the curve. Like the problem was he knew the faults of the Jedi Council, and he was being blunt to them, and they're like, "Oh, you can go fuck yourself."
Yeah. Right.
You know, you will not sit on this council.
Yeah.
You may be a master, but you can kiss my ass.
Yeah.
I mean, they were like, he was an outcast, and like Obi-Wan was like, you know, in that movie, he's like, dude, man, you were like bringing me down with you.
Right.
Like, I'm hoping to be on that council someday.
Right.
You know? So, can we, like, straighten up and fly right? And Qui-Gon's like, yeah, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
You know?
You need to wise up.
Yeah. I am telling you what's right and wrong.
You need to listen to me.
Yeah.
I liked him. He spoke like a Jedi in that movie. I mean, like, him and Kenobi were the bright spot of that movie. If there is a bright spot, it was those two.
Yeah.
Their conversations with each other.
Yeah.
That was the best part of that movie.
Yeah.
But, I dug this whole series. I loved all the flashbacks Vader was having.
Yeah.
I loved it, and Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so well done.
And then, like, at the end, like, I didn't care for, like, I understand why you did it, but the whole Rhea coming to the homestead, like, I thought that, even, like, beyond my, like, complaint about how fast hyperdrive gets you there, like, it felt unnecessary. Like, I felt like her character arc ended when Vader impaled her.
Yeah, maybe she just died.
Right. Like, I didn't feel like this did anything for, like, is she going to go on to be something? No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so, like, it to me, her showing up at the homestead and threatening Luke, I mean, all it shows is how much Owen and Beru love Luke.
Yeah, maybe that's why they did it. Maybe that's why.
Right. And
that where, like, he wasn't some, like, fucking refugee living in their house. They actually loved him like a son.
Right. But it's a nice, tidy ending. Like, because Owen doesn't want Luke to go down that path, but I think he's, at the end of the show, he's, like, looking at Obi-Wan going, hey, well, you're not the smelly bum living in the cave anymore, are you? Okay.
Yeah.
You want to meet the kid?
Yeah.
You know, and we get, hello there.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
But that was cool when he said.
That was cool, yeah.
But when he said, not just what he said, but like
Right.
to meet the kid. It was kind of
Yeah.
like an awe moment. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
but it was a moment that, like, Owen was almost embracing, like, he's going to resist this.
Yeah.
But I at least know you have his best intentions in mind.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we have to find a common ground somehow over these next 8 years. But I'm just not going to send him willy-nilly off into space with you. You know?
Yeah, on your adventures.
Right.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was interesting. When he showed up on Alderaan. Oh. Fucking done.
Were you?
I was. I had to take off my glasses. I had to wipe my face.
Shit.
I was in full blown, you know, this was the equivalent of, like, I've got so many tears rolling down my face. This is the equivalent of, like, the band playing as the Titanic sunk
Right.
moment. Like, you know, I was like, oh my God. Yeah, I mean, it was like, I was done.
When he said that about the droid, too. That was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, like, the whole thing, like, you know, about your mother, you get this from your mother and this from your father. I was like, oh my God. Oh, I can't deal with this.
I know. It was so good.
Yeah.
I like Ice Cube's kid's character, too.
Yeah.
When he said to him, when Kenobi said, don't stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to keep it going.
Yeah.
That's General Kenobi.
Right. But it's also like, here are the seeds of the rebellion.
Right. Yeah, and it's funny. It's like that fate parted.
Yeah.
When the one dude was like the
Grand Inquisitor. He's like,
Yeah.
stomp them out.
no, you got to go after the ship.
Yeah.
That's where the rebellion is. That's the beginnings here. We
Yeah.
got to snuff this out. And Vader's like, follow Kenobi. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is mine. And the Inquisitor's not going to stand up to him.
Right.
You know, and he's like,
And Vader's like, who the fuck you think
you're the
you
boss.
are? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
But like at the end, like when like the Emperor was like, he's like, I will scour the galaxy looking for Kenobi. And the Emperor's like, hey, bro. You know, like, I need to pull it back a little bit, man.
Yeah, when you start questioning it.
Yeah.
His...
And like Vader like sat up and was like, yeah, maybe you're right. You know, okay, yeah, I serve you, master.
Exactly.
You know.
But that's the Anakin in him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not the Vader. That's the Skywalker in him. That passion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was pretty cool. I mean, it's,
Right.
so, it's not necessarily foreshadowing, but Vader does what the Master says.
But it's
Vader also has some kind of agenda.
Right, but it's pre-shadowing because it was like you know who Anakin is. You know he's a hothead. You know he's impatient. You know everything about Anakin that you've learned over the years. And like in the episode before, Kenobi's talking about that. Like, he doesn't have the patience for a siege. He's coming.
Yeah, he's coming to destroy.
Yeah, so it's stuff like that like, so even in this moment, it's
Hide
like,
your younglings.
Like when you're talking about like, well, that's the Anakin in him. Well, you're right, because that's it, deep down. That's just to his personality. His personality is, I need to find, like, Anakin wants to find Kenobi. Vader's being set straight by the Emperor.
Right.
Yeah. And it was Vader who sat up and was like, yes, my master. Not Anakin. The Anakin in him would have been like, you know what? You can go fuck yourself, you wrinkly old fuck.
Yeah, because I'm going to kill you next.
Yeah, I am coming for it all.
Yeah, because even that was Anakin's whole goal, was to kill the Emperor and rule the galaxy.
Right. Yeah.
And make it what he wanted it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Very, very good show.
It was.
I liked every single episode of this show.
It was. It was an extraordinarily well done 6 episodes. I'm glad it was only 6 episodes. Like, I'm glad there wasn't, like... I wish there was more? Sure. Because, you give me as much Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan as you can give me.
Yeah.
But it being 6 episodes, it told a very concise story.
Yeah.
And I think that's... It's essentially like a 6-hour movie.
Yeah.
You can binge watch that, and you're only seeing one story being told.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's no filler episodes. There's no B and C story. There's one story being told, and it's this story.
Yeah.
And I think it's told in glorious fashion.
When she dressed up to see Kenobi. She had to put her boots on, her little...
Oh, the holster.
Holster?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
But, I mean, again, like, that's the princess we know.
Yeah. And that's the princess we know even when they were on that ship.
Yeah.
He was like, he was sad. He's scared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's...
The natural-born leader in her came out and took his hand.
I think she always had the natural born.
You're right, yeah.
And I think that's the cool thing, when she told that kid to shove off.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean...
Yeah.
That is the...
Yeah.
Get your hands dirty. Stand up for yourself.
That's the Padme in her,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, good shit, man. Very well done.
It was.
I'm sad to see it's over.
I am too. I mean, there's talk of a second season. Nobody knows for sure.
We'll never know.
No. I mean...
Until they announce it.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where, like, do I hope there's a second season? Sure. Do I think there should be a second season? Probably not. I feel like you've told the story you need to tell.
Yeah.
I don't think there's another story in the next 8 years.
Yeah, but people want Obi-Wan, dude. And me included.
Right. I mean, that's the problem. The problem is you have such a great actor betraying this amazing character and giving it much more depth than Alec Guinness was able to. And I mean, Alec Guinness is like one of the greatest actors ever.
Yeah.
Like when you talk about like the top 100 actors of all time, Sir Alec Guinness has got to be somewhere on that list.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he wasn't, outside of the original Star Wars movie, he's got, 2 scenes?
Yeah.
Essentially? Maybe a grand total of 15 minutes of screen time?
Mm-hmm.
So how much more in-depth can you get with the character? Well, not that much. Ewan McGregor has taken a character that Alec Guinness created, expanded on it, made it his own.
He did.
And made a character that is even more iconic than
the original.
Right.
And he it's funny, because when he studied Alec Guinness's voice for so long.
Right.
Do you know
his
what I mean?
mannerisms, the way he'd cross his hands, the way he'd play with the mustache.
Yeah.
All those little. It's those same little intricacies that I see that he that Rosie, Rosario Dawson brings to Ahsoka in the couple of times she's been on screen. Like having watched that character over two different series. Like I know her mannerisms, I know her voice, I know how she stands, how she holds herself, how she holds her lightsabers.
Yeah.
Like these are all things that are uber familiar to me.
Mm-hmm.
And like to see how Rosario Dawson portrays some of those characteristics, like with the way she holds her, like folds her arms and smiles, the certain looks that Ahsoka would give, it's like all right there.
Yeah.
So it's like I appreciate that Ewan McGregor
at 50.
Yeah, has done the type of work to like show like this is what the original character was, and this is what I've created it to be.
Yeah.
But here's the original tics and mannerisms of the original actor.
And the voice.
And the voice, yeah. The cadence.
Yeah. Yes. And the fact that he had to work his ass off to get into shape for this.
Yeah.
I mean, he did.
Yeah.
This was pretty physical work for him at 50 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, so fucking good. It was. It's funny. You went through this ride. It's like you started. I was like, I get where he's at. I understand him.
Right.
I want more of this story.
Right.
And then you got into Leia all of a sudden, and you're like, oh, this is cool. I like this.
Right.
This is really cool. Then you get into Vader, and it's like, ooh, give me more of that, and they did.
Right.
And they delivered, and then they delivered you more Leia, and then and then the overall arc with Obi Wan,
right?
Was on top. It was layered like very well, and it was just really well done. I know the plot holes with the hyperspace and stuff like that, but I just thought as a whole, I thought it was just really well written.
Right. I agree. I absolutely 100% agree. And it's like one of those things where, like, if you think about it, when we first started this podcast, not too long after that, I think within a year, Disney buys Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
And one of the first things we talked about, like, we're like, well, what's the advantage of Disney buying Lucasfilm?
Oh yeah.
And the first thing that came out of both of our mouths was bring back Ewan McGregor as Obi Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, you have to.
Like, I want movies. I give me a TV series. I don't care what it is. I need Ewan McGregor as Obi Wan Kenobi again. Yeah. And 8-9 years later, we got it.
Right.
And like, I don't know. Like, from a Star Wars standpoint, I don't have another. Well, not like maybe give me more Donald Glover as Lando.
Oh yeah. I'd watch that show.
Yeah. That's the only other thing I could think of. Is
yeah, because when Disney came out with Mandalorian, it was good. Don't get me wrong. Especially the first season.
Yeah.
That first season was incredible.
Right.
And I love the Mandalorian. I do.
Right.
I find the character very intriguing.
Right.
But it didn't hold a candle to this.
No.
Even writing-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, it just didn't hold a candle. And the Boba Fett series was okay.
Yeah.
The episode, like this last, that 2 episodes with Mando were the best episodes of the series. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, like, it just doesn't hold a candle to this. It doesn't. I mean, this was like you said, it was an epic. It was a movie. It's a 6-hour movie. In all of its glory.
Yeah.
Especially to see that saber light up.
Oh,
incredible. You right?
Yeah.
I think just the ignition of sabers excites me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you
yeah.
hear it fire up, I'm like,
yeah.
So we got some good battles. We got some good saber battles. Even though you didn't like the CGI, I still appreciated the battle that him and Obi and Anakin had.
I didn't have a problem with the CGI.
With his face, you said, didn't you?
No.
Oh.
No, it was there was a moment when Ahsoka fights Vader. At the end of the battle, she cracks open his helmet.
No. I'm talking about the flashback scene.
Oh, yeah. The de-aging still didn't look right.
But the saber battle was
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I mean, the story that was told and the saber battle that they had was fantastic.
Yeah.
The de-aging they did on Hayden Christensen, I was like, ooh, he still looks like he's 50.
Yeah, I know. Oh, but you're right, though. When he lopped off that side of the mask, I was like, oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
And you got that combination Vader-Anakin voice.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, like it was kind of fading out because he was fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, his computer, whatever was going on mechanically was
Right.
going off. Yeah.
And like in Rebels, when Ahsoka does that, at the end of the fight, she's standing there and he stands up and, you see half the face. And it's the guy who did Anakin's voice on the cartoon, the Clone Wars cartoon. He's like, Ahsoka. And she's like, Master.
Uh-huh.
I won't leave you again. And then the eye tightens and the Vader voice kicks in and he's like, and then you shall die. And and that's how it the door closes as they're fighting each other.
Yeah.
At the end you see Vader and you see Ahsoka walking back into the temple and you're like, well, did she survive? It was this question of did Ahsoka live? And you find out later what happened to her, but it was this at that time it was what the fuck happened at the end of that fight? So it's a great.
How did you feel about the duels in this?
Okay, well, you're talking
as compared to the Duel of the Fates, as compared to
Dooku
and
I think when you're talking Star number one forever and ever, unless something can somehow top it, will be
Return of the Jedi.
No.
Okay.
Will be Duel of the Fates.
Okay.
That
was good.
Obi, Qui-Gon versus Maul. That's the shit that I'm sitting in the theater and I got through all that trash and this was the nugget of gold
right,
that you were rewarded with. And it's an amazing duel. Obi Vader won at on Mustafar is 2. Return of the Jedi, Luke Vader's 3. But I feel
the music is what made that.
The music is what makes that, yeah. But I feel if you're looking the shit that those two guys did in that duel was so fucking amazing. You know what I mean?
At when?
In Vader Obi-Wan round 1.
Oh, round 1?
Yeah. On Mustafar.
Yeah.
Everything that's involved with that. And I think the emotional state, the emotional aspect of it.
Right.
Is because you knew it was coming. You knew this is how it happens. But at the same time, the emotional punch that they give you at the beginning of the fight and at the end of the fight is so hard.
Right.
That you're just oh, man. I feel that episode 3 fight was not a fight, but a confrontation.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't Obi Darth 2 to me. That was Darth beating the fuck out of a guy who shouldn't have been holding a lightsaber.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Obi had nothing.
Yeah, it was pretty much like
Yeah.
fucking what's his name? Quint. Oh my god, I forgot his name.
I don't know.
From
Finn.
Finn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Finn picking up a lightsaber.
Yeah. So like it's one of those deals where like okay,
Quinn.
yeah, like he shouldn't like that's not a fight. That's a confrontation.
Yeah, stalking.
Yeah. So, but you get to what I consider Vader Obi Wan 2 at the end of episode 6. That's a great fight, but I don't think it's as good as the first one.
Right.
I don't think it beats Luke Vader Return of the Jedi. I don't think it beats Kylo and Rey versus the Crimson Guard
Oh, that was a good fight.
in The Last Jedi.
That was a good fight.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The difference.
That's the fight that should have been
yeah.
his posse.
Yeah. But at the same time, I will say this much, I think from an emotional standpoint, it ends up getting ranked a little higher because of the emotional baggage that it has.
Yeah.
And especially at the end when, Obi-Wan's trying to apologize for his failures and Vader's like, you can go fuck yourself with your I am not your failure.
Yeah.
I killed Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, then my friend is truly dead.
Yeah. God, it was good.
Yeah.
That was the only... for me, not the only... I mean, there were some good parts in that movie, but the redemption for me for Jedi was that saber battle.
Yeah.
It was just... That music was just...
Yeah, I mean, when he's like, sister,
No!
Yeah.
And then it just the music kicks in.
Yeah.
It's just like... The music was the best... The best part of that entire fight was the music.
Like Gregorian chant thing.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, and it's like you're just like.
And when he's just fucking at the end, just beating them the fucking down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the army, he's
Yeah.
But that, I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? But
not again.
the whole movie was like that.
Yeah.
If it was done that well.
Yeah.
Because that scene was really done well.
Yeah.
Even though it looked... But I mean, like, he was sort of the monster.
Right.
In a sense. And I think that's kind of what they got from that.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, like, when you're a kid watching that, and you see the arm come off,
Yeah.
and then...
Luke
And you're, like, looking like...
his own black glove
Is he going to
hand.
kill him?
Yeah.
And then he looks down at his glove and is like, no, he's not going to kill him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the Emperor comes in and you're like, oh shit, it's on now like Donkey Kong boy.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the lightning fingers, and I'm like, man, this sucks. And then that, but at the same point, even as a kid, even now, you see that in Vader's brain. I think they got that really well on Jedi.
Yeah.
We're just like, yeah, he's killing my kid. You know what I mean? Like, you could see the turmoil.
Yeah.
And he just fucking throws him.
Yeah.
That's badass.
It was. I mean, that's a badass moment.
And the burning of Vader was badass, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was. I mean,
the,
that was just...
the funeral pyre and, like, Luke standing there and silhouetted against Vader's burning. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
And then you got the fucking Stormtrooper heads.
Yeah.
Like...
Yub. Nickel. Nichiwa.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Just so terrible. I mean, that should have been writing on the wall for the new movies.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what happened in his life I don't. I mean, I do with Lucas and stuff like that, but I just don't know how you can go from like Empire, right, and then then you have Jedi, and then you have Empire at the end of Jedi, and then you have Jedi again. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so weird.
I can explain it. I'm gonna quote the great Mel Brooks. Merchandising.
Yeah, I know, but God. Anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
Before we wrap this up, I finally saw Top Gun last night.
Oh,
or yesterday.
shit.
Yeah.
What did you think?
It was really fucking good.
Oh, I'm so glad you saw it in the theater.
Like, I'm glad I did too, and I wanted to because I knew, like, the airplane scenes. Right. I had seen like how they did it, like with like they were really in F-18s.
Yeah.
You know, everything that was involved with that, like how they had to shoot that stuff and everything. So like that, I knew, like, from a technical standpoint, this wasn't done with a green screen behind them. This was real shit. They were pulling real G's.
Yes.
You know, they were experiencing what a real pilot would experience in these instances. So from that standpoint, yes, I wanted to see this movie just because I knew from that alone it was going to look amazing on a big screen. I wish I had seen it in IMAX. But I went to the Phoenix, you know, with my refillable tub of popcorn.
Yeah.
And but it was like real. Like, I thought the story was really good.
So did I.
I liked, like, the only thing like the love interest thing I thought was kind of like shoehorned in a little bit.
Yeah.
But not so much that I was like,
Not as shoehorned as it was in the first one. I thought the love scene was like.
Well, like I didn't.
I mean,
the love interest wasn't. I didn't feel it was as shoehorned in the first one as it was in the second. I thought it was kind of shoehorned in there. That, like, well, we got to give him something. Now, I mean, I think the great thing is, it's like, you know, she's probably the one who gets Maverick to settle down.
Yeah.
It's 60.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, but I like, there were other aspects of it too. Like, I liked. I wish they would have done a better job of exploring the relationship between Rooster and Maverick.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like he's like, I hate you, leave me the fuck alone. And at the end of it, it's kind of like, you're my Uncle Maverick again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it didn't feel as organic as I thought it should.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, when they're going through that canyon and he's like, talk to me, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, man. You know. The Val Kilmer can do more acting with no voice or little voice than anybody I have ever seen.
Isn't it crazy?
Like, he is still phenomenal.
That scene was amazing.
It was.
If that didn't bring a tear to your eye.
Oh. I was big old, like, you know, running down my cheeks.
Yeah.
You know, and especially after having, like, watched that documentary about Val Kilmer. Like, it hit just a little bit harder.
Right.
You know what I mean? And for better or worse, like, it did.
Yeah.
Like, and because of that documentary. And as a fan of Val Kilmer too, it's like, if this is the last time, if this is the last ride, I'm glad it was this.
Yeah, me too.
You know,
that's what I said.
Yeah,
exactly. I was like, wow, this in like the whole typing it out and stuff like that. This is really good. I mean, it was just that scene was like really well done.
Yeah.
When he called him back in.
Yeah.
I like how it was done through text message. I mean, it just made sense. Like all of it.
Like he was a
sense.
presence throughout the majority of the movie, via text message and stuff. But like that scene, like even without like explaining, like just going from like the last Top Gun movie and not explaining anything else about their relationship until now, that scene carried so much weight.
Yeah. He didn't even say anything.
Yeah.
I mean, physically.
Yeah.
Well.
Very little.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the scene in the bar too.
Yeah.
I thought that was very.
And like, I mean, when
Top Gun pilot-ish.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But I mean, like the moment where like Rooster's playing Great Balls of Fire. Like, even I was like,
I know.
And then I've seen the entire scene. Like they there's a version of that where it's you just get to see Rooster playing Great Balls of Fire, like the entire song, and it's like so fucking good, Like the only thing it's missing is like a woman saying take me now or lose me forever.
Right.
Like, I'm a coming, baby. Just like Goose did.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, like, I mean, it's like such a fucking good moment. Like,
I just like. I liked how he was test piloting. I liked that he was working on planes.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like where you think he would be.
yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah,
Just like, it makes sense
yeah.
to me.
Like that's what he'd be ready to get it off to. Like we can't. You're such an asshole.
In a big ass hangar.
Yeah,
Pictures of Goose on the corkboard.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
like
he didn't let go. He let go, but he didn't let go.
right. He never let go.
Yeah,
It's good stuff.
it was. It was like so well done.
When
And,
Rooster came up and shot down that chopper.
oh yeah,
But I mean, I know that was like corny action movie stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same point, I'm like,
yeah,
yes! You know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
like, it's fucking awesome. And then when he climbed in the jet,
oh the F-14.
Oh.
Yeah,
it's done. Done.
yeah,
I was like, he's got it. He's like, I was
Yeah.
like, he's getting out of here.
like it was like so funny because like they referenced the F-14s, and I was like, ha ha ha, yeah, that's funny. Like there's F-14s there, like because the U.S. Navy like decommissioned the F-14 like over 25 years ago.
Right.
So they haven't been a part of our fleet in a very, very long time. And so it was like it's one of those things like the F-14 was a badass jet
Yeah.
for its time.
Yeah.
And so like to have him, a master of the F-14, get back into it, know what she can do. Like when he's opening up the wings for like that combat takeoff, and Rooster's like, why are the wings moving?
Yeah.
It's like, you just don't fucking know, kid. Just
Yeah.
hang on tight back there.
Yeah.
And like they played up like the it's a 5th generation fighters that they've got. Our F-18s can't hold up to them. Well, how's an F-14 going to hold up to it?
Yeah.
And I was just only Maverick can splash too.
Mm-hmm. And that's what it was designed for. This movie.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a great movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not an Oscar movie.
No.
That's not what he meant to put out.
No.
He doesn't put out shit like that. Do you know what I mean?
But I've heard people talking about it in that sense. Like, you're like, this is one of the greatest movies ever made. And I'm like, I wouldn't go that far.
But it's close. I mean, not close, but I mean, it's up there.
It's a damn good movie. And it's an amazing sequel to a movie that was made 30 years ago.
Fuck yeah, it was.
Yeah. Like, stuff like that always worries me. Like, when you're making a sequel that far away.
My worries were put the rest when he put that fucking jacket on.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
got on that old fucking bike, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm good, man. I'm right there again.
Right.
You know.
And I just love at the end. I don't know how long through the credits you stayed, but like they do the initial credits with like the plane and the sunset. Yeah. At the end of those, it said "In memory of Tony Scott."
Did you think it was filmed like Scott? Some scenes, you have to.
Yeah, I feel like, because I mean it's fun. Like when you watch the original Top Gun, like it's filmed. There's a certain way it's filmed. Like Tony Scott is amazing with lighting, and like there are scenes where like the lighting is important, and the background, like but like. I honestly think just because the technology is better,
right?
The flight sequences were so much better.
Yeah.
That again, the technology is far superior to what Tony Scott had to use, and a lot of that was like reused footage, and some of it was just like they just couldn't do what you like. You can see what his vision is, but like looking back at it, you're like, man, they just didn't have the technology to like keep up.
Right.
Where now the technology's there, the IMAX camera, everything that they could do with cameras nowadays, and then especially like in the cockpit, everything that they did, like it's like it's amazing. But like I there were moments where like you could see his influence. Not so much in the aerial scenes,
right?
But like the way John Hamm's office was lit, and the way it looked.
Yeah.
The way when he went to go see that admiral when it was the beginning of the movie. I can't remember. Yeah. The way that was lit was very Tony Scott.
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that that's like I could see Tony Scott's influence and how this looks and how this is lit and the way the shadows fall and everything like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm sure there's somebody out there like, get the fuck out of here. But it's there, trust me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, the other stuff, like it was so far advanced that, unfortunately it doesn't look like what Tony Scott would have shot. But if Tony Scott had the technology of today, I bet he would have shot something as close, if not better.
Yeah, sure. Man, it was such a good movie.
Yeah.
And as a sequel, I thought it was perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say perfect, like I said, I'm not talking Oscar or anything like that. I'm just saying that this was a good movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this
Right.
was like damn near perfect of a movie. An action movie that I absolutely loved.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, one of the things with Top Gun for me was, like, believe it or not, I haven't watched it that many times. You know that because of Goose dying. Goose just absolutely crushed me. And as a kid watching that, it really did.
Yeah.
It hurt me bad.
Yeah.
It did. I mean, I was like, it's the worst fucking movie I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? Like, I like Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
I watch Revenge of the Nerds. I like this guy. And he was such an integral part of Maverick.
He's a tri-lamb.
Yeah. But he was such an integral part of Maverick.
Yeah.
And like,
right.
And to lose him like that, it was heart-wrenching.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure it was sad for the adult at that time period, but it was just crushing to a kid.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So, but I grew up, like, my sister, was married to a Marine pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the cockiness, I knew that cockiness.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
different
service, but I mean, like, he was a pilot.
Right.
So, I mean, like
combat pilots have an arrogance about them that they've earned.
Yeah.
I know that sounds like an awful thing to say, but it's true. I mean, if you are a combat pilot, you have earned your arrogance because you have to have it.
Yeah, but they captured that in the bar.
Yeah.
Like these pilots talking to each other. I thought that was really good too.
Yeah.
Like shooting their shit around. And,
yeah.
But that's,
Yeah.
you got to give him credit for that. I mean, like, I don't know. I just thought it was.
I just thought that dichotomy was very interesting, because like immediately the first thing I thought of when I saw this taking place, I'm like, well, Rooster's Maverick, Hangman's Iceman. But it wasn't that way. Like, if anything, Hangman was the one who was too dangerous.
Yeah.
And Rooster was way too fucking cautious. Like, there was no Iceman in this.
No.
They were like polar opposites of each other.
Right.
And Hangman thought he was closer to Maverick in style. And the reality is, like, he was, but he wasn't.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's...
Yeah, I agree with you.
Right.
Like, yeah, I totally agree.
I mean, maybe there was a little bit of, like... Because, like, but Top Gun knocked it out of him, like, you don't leave your wingman. Well, Hangman was still leaving his wingman.
Yeah. Right.
So, like, the lessons he was supposed to learn, he didn't learn. So it was almost like the version of Maverick if Goose didn't die.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Because he would have never learned those lessons.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I've talked to military people too. It's like, oh, this will never happen, this will never happen. But the movie was fucking great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're on board with the movie.
Right. Like it is. It's like, I get it. It's like one of those things where, like, I mean, the scene where he steals the F-18 to show that it can be done, to run the course, run the course and show that it can be done. That's an amazing scene. But I mean, like, he would have, like, the second he landed that plane, he would have been hauled off.
Right. And the takeoff procedures on some of the stuff, and the whole fucking going up this and down this. And I mean, they had problems with that, but overall, they loved the movie.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like it's one of those things where it's like, it's the same thing I tell Nancy about, like, and even my dad. Me and my dad had this conversation on Father's Day, like, about, like, Black Widow.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, he's like, yeah, I don't see her taking out, like, 5 trained assassins. I'm like, first off, it's a comic book movie, and second off, she's trained by the Red Room. She's the highest of high assassins.
Yeah, she could take him out.
Yeah, I have no problem with Black Widow taking out 5 highly trained goons.
I think Black Widow can go into a country and take it over.
Yeah,
That's what she's trained for.
Right.
She's trained to bring down.
You're right, governments.
So,
like, yeah, like, I mean, my point to my dad was, like, first off, it's a comic book movie. Suspend any disbelief you have. But 2, let me break this down for you.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I'm so glad you saw it.
So yeah, so, like, I feel the same way about, like, this. It's like, at the end of the day, like, I'm like, man, this probably would never happen. But at the same time,
I'm sure glad it did.
I'm sure glad it happened in the movie.
Yeah, I know. I walked out of that movie and I was like, oh, I texted you. I was like, I want to see it again. I got to see it again. It was so fucking good.
Yeah.
And it just kept moving, too.
Yeah.
That's what I really liked about it, because I thought in the original Top Gun, after Goose died, there was a lull.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And some sad music and getting back with the girl.
He has the conversation with Tom Skerritt.
Yeah.
The conversation with Tom Skerritt's important, though, because he's like, I ain't never seen anybody as talented as you.
Yeah. But.
Yeah.
At the same point, it's just kind of like, in this movie, there wasn't a lot of that.
No.
It just kind of kept going.
Yeah.
And I liked, it was kind of cool, too, that Maverick was in the teaching role.
Yeah.
And I liked that as well.
Right.
And then what's-his-name was there, too, which I thought was cool. Like, what's-his-name's understudy or whatever. Who's that, Merlin? Who was that guy? Not Merlin. Who was that guy? He was in Top Gun.
Oh.
No, it was Merlin.
Yeah.
Jester was the guy from RoboCop.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there was that other guy.
Right.
The black guy.
Yeah.
I think that was Merlin.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I can't remember.
Anyway.
Yeah, but he's the ground crew guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good, dude.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
And the opening.
Oh, the opening was fantastic.
I know, but it wasn't like too much.
Yeah.
That's what I like really respected about it. You know, it was like,
Yeah.
is that Kenny Loggins? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, damn, Highway to the Danger Zone? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is fucking awesome. I mean, this is even starting off good. And I
it's the same way the first Top Gun movies. It starts with that opening with like the description of what the Top Gun school is.
Correct.
And then you go to it was supposed to be the USS Kitty Hawk.
Yeah.
That was what Maverick was deployed on.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's like the Kitty Hawk getting planes off and stuff,
Yeah.
and yeah. So like you get Danger Zone the entire time, and I'm just like when that hits, because like first off you get the Herald. I can't remember what the guy's last name, but the guy they got. I guess like the second most patriotic song behind the national anthem, in my opinion, at this point. Like when they play that, you should just automatically salute.
Yeah, right.
But so you start off with that, and then you get right into Danger Zone, and I'm just like the hairs on my arm were rising. I'm
exactly, and it gave like credit to U.S. military, and it was just like, man, that's badass. Like, it was like explaining that these guys are for real. I mean, this is like serious shit. Yeah, and it was so good. Yeah. Beginning of that, I even liked the opening thing by Tom Cruise when Tom Cruise came out and was like, "Thank you for coming to our movie." Yeah. Worked a long time on this. Yeah. I thought that was the first time I saw that.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that. I'm like, there's Tom.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah,
I thought it was cool that he did that. Yeah, I don't think it. I didn't take it as a gesture, like, like. I thought it was kind of heartfelt. I
think it was one of those deals where, like, first off, I mean, this movie got delayed a couple of times because of COVID. Yeah, I think it was supposed to come out in like 2020. Yeah, yeah. And I think, like, for him, there was like a personal stake in it. Yeah. I mean, like, it's like I'm revisiting this character that kind of pushed me.
Well, it changed his life.
Yeah. I mean, he was a movie star. I mean, you go back to, like, Risky Business and, stuff like that. All the Right Moves. There's some good stuff that he's did before that. But, like, Top Gun's the movie that made Tom Cruise Tom Cruise.
Right. And then he did Days of Thunder.
Yeah, like Days of Thunder.
And then he did a couple movies, and then
Cocktail.
he just and then he just fell off the earth for a couple years.
Well, no, I think he did like Interview with the Vampire.
Well, then he came back with Interview.
Yeah,
there were some years there that he didn't do much. Interview was. I always thought that Interview with the Vampire was sort of his comeback because he did Vanilla Sky. Yeah, because he did Interview with the Vampire, and then he did Vanilla Sky.
He did some clankers, like, because he did that one with not Scorsese. The Eyes Wide Shut, which was a clanker. Like, if you go back, all right, so
start from Top Gun.
All right, so 1986, Top Gun. 1986, Color of Money.
Not great.
Oh, I love Color of Money.
I know, but yeah, keep going.
1988, Cocktail. 1988, Rain Man.
Yeah.
1989, Born on the 4th of July.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. 1990, Days of Thunder. 1992, Clanker, Far and Away.
Yeah, Clanker.
But then he comes back with A Few Good Men. Same year.
Yeah.
93, The Firm. 94, Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah.
96, Mission Impossible.
And that's when he like fucking went off and into an echelon.
96, Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, that was good. I forgot about Jerry Maguire.
Yeah. 99, Eyes Wide Shut.
Ugh.
99, he also had Magnolia. 2000 was Mission Impossible 2.
Magnolia, that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah. And then 2001 was Vanilla Sky. 2002, Minority Report.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. He has a cameo in Austin Powers Goldmember.
Of course.
2003, The Last Samurai.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I said, like I'm looking over his, I'm not gonna say every movie he makes is great. There are definitely some dips, but the dips are small. He didn't have a long
I
lull.
thought he had more of a wall.
No, like you said, like you were talking about, Rock of Ages comes out right after Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol. Then he follows that up with Reacher, Oblivion, Edge of Tomorrow, and Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation.
Yeah.
So he does The Mummy. And
that was bad.
Yeah, and he follows it up with American Made and Mission Impossible: Fallout and Top Gun Maverick. It's like he has dips. I'm not going to deny that for a second, but he hasn't had that prolonged dip of he disappeared. He's been putting out a movie every 1 or 2 years for about 30 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he has a pretty good track record. I'd say he's probably batting 700.
Yeah.
So that's not too shabby.
God, he was good as a stat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care what Ian Rice said.
Yeah. I agree.
He was perfect. Every time I think of him as a stat, I always think of him in the car.
Yeah. Louis. Still complaining about the same things.
Dusting himself off.
Yeah.
It fucking smells like fucking dead rats.
Oh, yeah. Already plotting his comeback.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
Let's wrap this thing up. Is there anything you'd like to add to the proceedings there, sir?
No, I'm good, sir.
Well, remember, there are a number of different ways you can reach out and touch us.
Hey.
You can send us an email like Thad does. The email address is pittsburghnerd@yahoo.com. Make it pertinent to the show. We'll read it.
Yeah.
You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. Very, very easy to find. And we are a member of a number of podcasting networks. You can find us on the Tangent Bound Network, the Weeby Geeks Network, and the Pod Breed Network. Just Google search, give them a Google search. You'll find all the other great podcasts they have to offer. And as always, we want to thank you, dear listener, for checking us out each and every week. We can't thank you enough for your support.
Yeah.
And on that note, the dreamer has awakened.
Peace.